So, well, let's start with mainly called us for what reason? What was the main reason that you called?
Food aggression.
Food aggression. And it's not because you're trying to take his food, it's because he actually goes after food that is left. Because kids, teenagers leave stuff around. So he's going after their empty plates that are left there, or even while they're eating, maybe too.
He hasn't done it while they were eating. It's kind of like when we leave the table, then he's like, "Oh, but you're done," and so he'll go over there, and then when we come to try to get him to stop it, then he'll growl and he'll bark and he'll actually go towards you instead of, if you tell him no, he'll go towards you like, "What? No, I'm going to keep coming."
Okay. So let's discuss that. So you went through puppy training with him?
I didn't have him as a puppy. I just got him about 6 months ago.
But you went through some training?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. The training that you went through was mostly food-based training, and it was more obedient stuff like sit and down and things like that.
Yes.
Okay. So you've been on a prong collar for a while. During training, how did they teach you to stop certain behaviors?
We didn't get that far because the hurricane hit, and then he got a cough, and then I had to have surgery. So we never got past that. So a lot of the stuff was, what I was doing with him was, we had actually gone there before with our other dog, and I was just doing the stuff that I had already experienced with our other dog. But we haven't really got to leave it or anything like that. I mean, he'll do it a little bit, but and he has backed away from leave it.
How are you teaching that? How are you teaching leave it?
Just saying it, and then he'll leave it, and then I'll give him another treat.
So redirection then, maybe. Okay. We want to teach absolute disengagement, and disengagement from a person, an animal, food that's been left out. And we talked about it on the phone, but you were also using a different type of training to get him to be calm. What was that exactly?
It was, well, I couldn't use that training because it's kind of, you have to overpower the dog, and you have to put him into saddle and get him to go into their crate, and he's too big for me to try to settle him if he's growling and barking. And
so teaching him settle, how are you doing that? I mean, in what manner?
All I was doing is, he would get on the ground, I would, take his legs out from under him and just hold him down there with my leg over top of him and with my hand at his neck.
When you say take his legs out from under him, I mean, he's big.
Yeah, and I can't do that now at all.
Right. So taking his legs out from under him in an attempt to do it, right?
Well, I wouldn't do that with food because he's scary with food. I mean, it's like I've never used settle with him when something like that was going because it would have been too dangerous.
Right. So, but teaching it before in what situation? Just to get calm behavior?
Just to get calm behavior when he was playing with the other dog.
Okay.
And we would do a saddle, and I mean, it was...
When you take his legs out from under him, you're going to reach almost under the belly and grab lower paws maybe?
Yes.
And just flip them?
Well, it was more like, just go like this and then flip and then, it was a struggle to get him down. I mean,
so it's using force. I mean, you're using a lot of force to do it.
Yeah.
And there's no way to disassociate from that. It is all you using your body and your strength to pin him down on the ground by the neck and by the flank. And there's a lot of conflict in that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how you could do that if they're,
Yeah. So, there's lots of different types of training out there, but to put that in a nutshell, I mean, that's submission or dominance training. And we want to teach you leadership, not dominance. To have a dog submit comes with conflict. And if that is what you've used to make him do something, right? Then if you were to use that to get food that's left out, a plate, a toy, he takes socks. I mean, he's still a puppy too, so he goes and gets into stuff that he's not supposed to, and you got to get it back because maybe it's dangerous of what he got. If you approach him in that manner of that settle technique of flipping him and pinning him and having him just fight you until he gives up, there's a lot of conflict. And if you've approached him in a manner like this to go and do it, every time you approach like that, even if you don't intend to submit him, he might think that that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Worse than that, you have a guest, you have elderly, or you have young children that approach him like that, and he is anticipating that's what they're going to do. And I hate it. And it's teaching him to fight. And if you give up in that submission technique and the dog wins, he's successfully made the person stop. He's emboldened by it, right? And if you try to take...
That might have been where it all started, though, because there's been a couple times where I've put him in there and I'm just like, you know, I didn't keep him there long enough where I let him get up. So.
How long do you think it takes for him to actually submit, to calm down?
If I do it just doing it without just like the practice settle, he can do it within like a minute or two. But if he's been running around with our other dog and I want him to settle, it takes him a little while.
Okay. So if his intensity is built up, it takes longer. Period. That's the way it goes. All right. So we want to teach you how to disassociate from punishment. Punishment is to discourage behavior, whether it is to calm down, and then we want to teach you to go to place. So he can go to that designated area, and there's an expected behavior once he's there, and he's expected to stay. That's going to help you too with kids will be kids and they'll leave stuff out, but if they do leave something out, he's not allowed to leave place. Okay? Remotely, we can give punishment, and if we push the button and we're not over top of him and getting him to submit through dominance, there's no conflict. So his own behavior has to be either given reinforcement or given punishment. So do we like it or do we not like it? So we want to teach you how to disengage, have him disengage items he's not supposed to have. Maybe a little bit of prey drive, just chasing something. We can teach a heel with it. But you got a good start with prong collar. We'll pair that remote collar to the prong collar. We might make adjustments to what you have there, just so that it runs smoothly. You said it's kind of in between sizes, maybe?
I think so.
Yep.
Because it seems like that's a lot of space. What I had seen before is that they have to be more up here.
Yeah, you want it high on the neck. Yep.
And it ends up falling down.
So when we add the remote collar, though, that box will sit on one side, and it'll be kept a little higher.
Okay.
So that'll help too. All right, let's take a little walk. Let's see how he does. Let's see if you can get disengagement just from people passing. It's just mind your own business. That's what we want to work on first. If he can disengage from something that's easy to disengage from, then we can practice soon with something that's really difficult for him to disengage, that has a lot of value. So food that's left out, a sock that's left out, he really likes. Not every dog has the same value for certain things, but if we can teach him slow at first and build up to understanding when the remote collar turns on, he should disengage, he needs to pay attention, and then he needs your guidance into behavior so that it will turn off.
Now, do you do any of that with treats when you're walking them? To help
we want to take a look at how you do it first.
How I do it first.
And then we're going to...
He doesn't take treats while we're walking. There's too much going on, so he's just...
So not enough value. Not enough value in treats. He'd rather explore. He would rather maybe nose around and not mind his own business, because he kind of gets interested in other dogs and other people. But as big as he is, we can't have him get into a particular behavior like lunging at the end of the leash, chasing, things like that. We'll make some adjustments to the equipment, and then we'll get you rolling with our course, okay?